a CASA volunteer, still, I guess, still meeting training requirements. Mr. Overman's the attorney for DFACS, Ms. Crane's the attorney for the mother, Jennifer Mercer, and I don't remember whether I don't think they were married, were they? Michael Poore, he's putative. And, but neither one is here, and which is, has been standard. I think they did show up either the last hearing or the time before, but, and the case manager, Mr. Turnipseed, is here. So, Mr. Turnipseed, if you raise your right hand, do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony and evidence you're giving this matter pending will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Do you?
Yes.
Thank you. Go ahead, Mr. Overman, present your review.
Thank you, Judge. Do we have a CASA? I mean, do we have the guardian ad litem on, or was she excused?
We don't. I don't know where.
I didn't want to get too far along until we.
Ms. Strock, well, she'll be buying lunch today.
I mean, we can go forward, but I did not know if the court wanted to give a couple of minutes to see if she's.
Well, it's 3 after.
Okay.
I'm ready to roll, and she can.
Well, Judge, if it's okay with the court, the way we usually do this is I will proffer what information I have from the report, let Mr. Turnipseed verify that and add anything else to it if that's okay. And then this is a 216 review, so we will have to go down and make the appropriate findings.
Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you, Judge. We've had talking about having trouble getting mom and dad. January has been terrible. They haven't participated in any services that they said due to their phone being off. Trying to reach them. The provider's been trying to get in touch with them. Mr. Turnipseed told the provider that they had phone issues. She said that she had been to the house. The car's in the driveway, but nobody answered the door. They did attend last month, the first of the month, a parent-child visit on 1/9, but they're supposed to visit twice a week. And but they missed the visit on 1/11. I've got a whole list. I can kind of give the court an idea of what's going on. Also, the screens have been an issue. We did get a hair follicle from the father and an oral swab on 123. Attempted a random screen on 123 on mom, but she wouldn't come to the door. We've had issues things have really fallen off the rails. I have a list of for Jennifer, the mother, 123, she missed the appointment. 12/21, she refused. 12/14, she refused the screens. She missed an appointment on 12/13. She missed 11/30. 11/18, she missed. 11/9, she missed. 10/26, we did get an oral swab on her. And it was positive for amphetamines and methamphetamines, which is their drug of choice. 10/10, she missed. 10/6, she missed. 10/5, there was another oral swab positive for the same. 9/5, there was a urine positive for same. 8/10, a hair was positive for both. 8/8, positive for both for a urine, an oral, as well as a urine. Also on 8/8, the urine had THC in it. And I'll go to July. We've got June, but there are a lot of missed appointments from there on back. As far as the father, at 123, we're waiting for the results for that test. And there, Mr. Turnipseed may have it back by now. I'll let him testify to that. Missed appointment in November. Missed appointment 1, 2, 3 appointments in November. Missed appointment in 10/31. 9/5 was positive for amphetamines and oral and methamphetamines. I won't go back any further than that. We've got issues there. So, and Judge, we have asked the father. He said the father and the mother, we have talked to him about inpatient treatment. Of course, if the court remembers,
I ordered them both. 4 weeks from the last court date on January the 8th. And I gave her 8 weeks from when she finished her surgery. Did she ever have her surgery?
I'll get Mr. Turnipseed to testify to that, Judge. The issue we have is that both keep saying they're going to go into inpatient treatment. Dad said he was going to do it last week. I'll get Mr. Turnipseed to talk about it. We can't get their attention for some reason. Right now, the case plan is reunification, but this is a permanency
Concurrent.
review.
I granted a concurrent in January.
Right, so it is concurrent, but we are gonna, oh, there's Ms. Rock, good. We have, the department's basically, it's been 9 months, but still the department is ready to move forward. We haven't had a packet for TPR yet, but the department's leaning heavily about moving toward TPR on both of these if we can't get them in inpatient. Really don't want to do it, but they don't seem to want to get inpatient, and that seems to be the only way we're going to get them to do anything. So
Keep in mind, her older child is in the care of a relative because of long-term drug use that she stipulated to a permanent guardianship because she wasn't going to get it turned around.
That's correct, Judge. I think Mr. Bodiford represented her on that case, if I'm not mistaken. And supposedly, I know the surgery issue came up, but she swore she was going to go into inpatient, and that hasn't happened. So the department is kind of frustrated. We'd like to work with them, and the sad thing about it, the month or 2 months before, they were participating. I know they've had car trouble. Mr. Turnipseed can testify to that. But the issue is still the same. We need to get them moving to be able to get rid of this drug issue as far as that goes. So, Mr. Turnipseed, you've been sworn in. Is the information I passed along true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Okay. Now, could you add to that as far as since information you have concerning drug screens, et cetera?
For drug screens, mom did miss her screens. Dad's did come back for his oral and hair follicle from the 23rd. His was positive for amphetamines, methamphetamines.
Okay. Would you explain to the court what we've been trying to do about the parents' issues as far as going into rehab, going into inpatient? I think they promised you that, but it hadn't taken place. Could you explain to the court how that has worked?
So after the court hearing on the 9th, Dad did come to the visit on the 23rd, where he was screened, and he stated that he was going into inpatient last week, and he was supposed to send me the information as to where he was going. He stated that the information for his inpatient treatment was at his boss's house. Dad was also supposed to text me information for a relative that the child could go to. He never gave me that information.
Okay.
It was requested during court and again on the 23rd. Dad did make the appointment on the 23rd and the 25th for visits. Both parents attended the visit on the 30th. However, nobody confirmed for the first. I did speak with the provider. She was able to meet with the parents. I want to say it was on the 27th of January, but that's been the first appointment since their phones originally got cut off. I did send mom the link via email, and I tried to follow up with her again this morning, but the phones are still cut off.
Talk about the judge asked about the surgery. Did mom have surgery, didn't have surgery, go to inpatient? What's going on with that?
Said that last court hearing she was supposed to have surgery this month. She hasn't confirmed with me the actual date for her surgery.
It was supposed to be February the 1st is what she told me at the last hearing.
But you haven't gotten any information, right, Mr. Turnipseed, on that?
He hasn't told me anything. And at this point, it's really just a matter of popping up at the house or hoping that they confirm their visit for tomorrow to see if dad has went to inpatient and if mom has had her surgery or not.
Today is the deadline for dad to be in residential drug treatment. I gave him 4 weeks from the 8th, which today is exactly 4 weeks from when I told him. So he needs to be here today.
Thank you, Judge. And Mr. Turnipseed, what's the department's position? It's a concurrent case plan right now. Is the department, based on the last month's work or no progress or whatnot, asking, probably going to terminate? Is the department's position is it's time to move forward and prepare for termination?
Staff again today to see if the parents, see if dad goes into inpatient and see what mom has planned for her inpatient. And if that does not go through, then the department will be filing.
Okay. So the intent is if they don't get an inpatient like they're supposed to, we're going to file for TPR. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. Anything else as far as the child doing okay? Where's the child placed?
He is placed with a foster parent in Stockbridge. He's doing well. He's in daycare a couple days out of the month. The foster parent wants to change the daycare to a different daycare with another program, but he's not old enough at this point. So she sends him for 2 to 3 days out the week and keeps him home for the rest of the days. She has issues as far as basically your common things with the kids being sick, him being sick, going to daycare, getting sick, coming home type deal.
But placement's doing well, and we don't see any need to change placement at this time. Is that correct?
Correct. His current placement is the best placement.
Okay. And Judge, other than making the finding of facts of 216, that's all I have of Mr. Turnipseed.
They're supposed to have 2 visits a week. So since we were here on January the 8th, how many visits? It doesn't sound like, I haven't heard but about 1 visit.
So I know the parents did visit on the 16th, but they missed that Thursday. They came back on the 23rd. They mom missed on the 25th, and both parents came on the 30th. So sometimes they'll make that Tuesday visit, but that Thursday is kind of up in the air. Or they don't.
Out of 8 possible visits over a 4-week, we're almost exactly 4 weeks from last time we were here, and we are exactly 4 weeks. They've made 2 visits instead of 8?
No, they've made 3 together, and dad has made 4.
Okay, so he's made 50% of his visits. Mom has made less than 50% of her visits.
Correct. She said, Dad
Is that
said
right?
on the 25th. Correct.
Okay. Not satisfactory.
No, Judge, not from the department standpoint.
Well,
for sure.
and they've got transportation issues. What have you made available? Any kind of temporary transportation until they get their car going or whatever it is they got to get fixed?
Well, the issue was that we have them come to the office because, you know, the whole drug screen issue, because we have screeners in on Thursdays, but they tend to miss the Thursday visit. So now I have
Surprise.
to see. Now I have to see who can try to meet them halfway, because sometimes they do. If they come to the office consistently, then we'll do the visits at the Wendy's closer to their house. That way, if they have to drive a car that isn't good enough to go a far distance, then the Wendy's is closer to the home.
You need to find a provider who can truly randomly screen them, because you're telling them when you're going to screen and they just no show, and or they've managed to stay clean long enough to pass the test when they show up on Thursday, which it doesn't sound like they're able to do that since they keep skipping Thursday.
And Judge, from our standpoint, screeners have been out. I mean, the provider has been out there, cars in the driveway, but they won't come to the door. I think Mr. Turnipseed will verify that.
Well, if the car's not running, it's going to always be there. So I don't know if that necessarily means they're inside, not coming to the door, but it could.
Well, it's a different car, Judge. They borrowed a friend's car. So when that car's in the driveway, we know.
So the loaner car is in the driveway.
Correct.
Well, then why don't they get around in the loaner car?
That car has issues as well, from what they tell me.
All right. Ms. Schrock, you got any questions?
Mr. Turnipseed, and this placement where August is doing well, and this is the placement that's been a very stable placement for him that he's been in since he came into care. Is that right?
Yeah.
Couldn't hear you.
Correct.
All right. Nothing further.
All right. The court finds the department continues.
Your Honor,
to
I'm sorry. I have one question.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ms. Crane.
It's okay. It's okay.
You're so quiet. I can't.
Well, Mr. Turnipseed, the current placement for the child, is that a foster to adopt placement, or will the child have to be moved if the department TPRs into a new adoptive placement?
Well, once we staff it and we actually move the TPR, I have to go and speak with the foster parents to see if they are willing to adopt. before we make that move or any changes.
Okay, but they haven't made any indication so far?
No, they haven't. I talked with them about it, but I didn't truly present them, the question and the 441 form.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Right, the department finds reasonable efforts have been made to facilitate permanency. Has anybody identified any material portion of the case plan that has not been implemented? I haven't seen any, but
No, sir.
all right. Anybody contend there are any legally required services that have not been afforded the child, the foster parents, or the parents?
No, sir.
No, sir.
And the concurrent permanency plan remains in the child's best interest.
Yes.
Judge.
Visitation would be appropriate if the parents would do it. Child's not 14, and parents have continued to fail to make substantial progress on their case plans. And we've already converted it to a concurrent case plan that includes non-reunification. So I don't know the need to convene a non-reunification hearing. Does anybody contend we have to do that?
No, Judge,
No,
because
Your Honor.
we're going to move for TPR. We'll be moving forward, so I don't think we have to go there.
Well, I've got a file in my cubby downstairs that the deadline for y'all to file TPR was about 2 months ago, and I hadn't heard hide nor hair of you. So maybe I need to watch this one more closely.
Well, I will find out what that file is, Judge, and I apologize.
Do you know
And-
which one it is, Jessica?
Yes, sir.
Jessica knows all these things.
I know, she's the boss.
She's over here holding up big signs, telling them what to say.
It's Faith King from the King Jimenez case.
Faith King from the King
Jimenez.
Jimenez
Mhm.
case. I don't even
Okay.
know who the SAG is,
I will check on that, Judge, and see what's going on with it.
because Jessica's been on me to file for contempt, and I'm just trying to be a little less onerous.
And we really appreciate that, Judge. We really do. Thank you. Tell Jessica, we really appreciate her help.
She said she'd send you a bill.
I bet she will. Thank you.
Well, these people, the dad just kind of showed up in midstream, but I've been dealing with this mom for years, and she's got plenty of ability. She's just the meth has her number, and she just can't lick it.
And being with somebody that also has that issue, Judge, makes it worse, I think.
I thought she had broken away from him at one time during the other case, but about the time this baby came along, he came back in the picture. And he may have already been in the picture in the background, but she didn't come to court with him that I remember. Do you remember, Miss Schrock?
Yeah, no, she didn't come to court with him. Mm-mm.
But they visit together, Judge. He brings her, I think.
Well, they were living together at some point during this case. I don't know. Are they still living together?
I do not know.
I don't know where dad truly lives. We know he's at mom's house sometimes, but the address he gave the court, we've never seen him at that residence,
Yeah.
nor about us.
I think they're what they refer to as codependent on each other. And they bring out the worst in each of them. And we already know the kind of problems that older child has had, and maybe still has, I don't know, but due to all the instability and just
Yes.
sad. All right. Anything else we need to address for the review?
No, Judge, we'll put the appropriate findings in the order that you identified, and we'll circulate it among the attorneys.
All right. Yes, I think you're supposed to identify when you expect to achieve permanency.
I think a lot of that depends on if the department moves forward with TPR, which I think we are, and get the packet.
Well, I'll be honest with you, I don't hear any more progress since we were here a month ago. Of course, it's just coincidentally that we're back because of this 9-month statutory review, but
Right.
they haven't, they're doing the same stuff they were doing when I fussed at them a month ago.
I don't disagree.
All right.
Thank you, Judge. Is there
Thanks.
any?
We'll conclude the hearing.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Next year. A 6-month review,
Oh, do you need
the
Uh,
date,
August 5th at 8 o'clock?
And we will probably be back for the TPR before then.
Okay, then.
Can I hold my breath?
Yes, Judge, please do. You'll be fine. Did, is that Zoom, or if we don't go